hate to just let a team off the hook when you've got them really buried, as the Montreal Concordes had Toronto.
Offside, Toronto number 70. Kickoff repeated.
You like to make them earn every point that they get, not give them anything phony on the penalties there, but they've let Toronto back into the game.
Well, there's Brett Williams, the newcomer who's playing the defensive tackle spot. He's from a school I'd never heard of before, Austin Pay.
I think it's in California.
Well, there's, you know.
I picked the biggest state.
Yeah, why not? Well, Texas. People in Texas won't be too happy with you. But what I was going to say is, you know, people talk about, you know, are there enough football players to go around? You could start 40 leagues. There's thousands of schools.
Patio, they're like streetcars. Always one coming.
So Hank Olisic will set it up now at the 40-yard line. Montreal played just a sensational first half. They led it 18-1. But the Argos have scored 8 points here in the third quarter and are now back in it. Hank Olisic performs the kickoff duties for the Argos. Angles this one towards the sideline, but he forces Aaron Hill to take it there. And Hill is upended by Jan Carinci as he crosses the 35 to about the 37-yard line. After 4 games so far this season, the Montreal Concordes are up 32,761 people in attendance. From the 4th game at home last season, the Montreal crowds have gone up 10,560 per game.
Well, they've had a good product on the field.
Yep.
Oh, that's another good screen setup.
And this is Alan Reed, who crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line for a pickup of about 5 yards.
And Don Moen just did a heck of a job to make that play because they really once again had the blocking out in front. Glenn Keeble to center, and Alan Reed still hobbling a bit. He cramped up a few series ago.
What the Concordes here would like to do, of course, is put together one of their patented drives where they can take up some time, too. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Second down, 5 yards to go. Montreal from their 41. Hill fires. Mike McTagg makes the catch, and then it's dropped by Darrell Wilson, but he has the first down out around the 54-yard line. Picked up at 13 yards for Toronto native Mike McTagg.
Nice job. He was hooking to the inside, saw Gill in trouble, and just worked back outside to an open area. Turner Gill read it. Mike McTagg made a great play.
But this really is the kind of game we anticipated. Montreal's strong defense, although Toronto has not played as well offensively as I thought they would. On the draw, this is Dwayne Wilson. Wilson was dropped by James Reed, and then James Curry came in to help as well, but it was Reed, the middle linebacker, number 70, who was there first.
Yeah, and then when you run a draw play, that's the guy usually that has to make the play. It's the middle linebacker. You got all the blockers up front, and he's the one that's got to read it, and especially in a 4-3 defense like Toronto uses. James Reed made the play, no gain.
Ball still at the Montreal 54. Gill throws wide open as Todd Brown. He's got the first down and is into the Toronto 32-yard line. Steve Johnson was there to make the tackle. A 24-yard pickup. Turner Gill to Todd Brown. Both went to the University of Nebraska at the same time.
Now here's what happens when you've got a rookie corner. He knows the blitz is on. He's got man-to-man with Todd Brown, and he just gave him far too much room. Turner Gill picked out the right guy once again. You know, sometimes those corners get a little nervous when they know the blitz is on and they got one-on-one and no help. So give Brown far too much room.
Toss goes to Dwayne Wilson, and Wilson had no place to go. Don Moen was there to turn him back in and make the tackle himself.
We got some good help from Mark Seal coming across from that defensive tackle spot as well. He put the final hit on Dwayne Wilson.
You know, you're talking about Mark Seal. Mark's the boy who grew up in Ottawa, went to school in the States, actually went down to the National Football League for a little while. But Bob Obilovich, who knew him in Ottawa, who watched him play high school football, knew of his career in U.S. college football, said sometimes the pressure on a kid growing up in his hometown, then playing with the pro team in his town is too much. He said if Mark Seal can play to the capabilities that we know he has, he's going to be a great asset to our football team.
You know what he said, as a matter of fact, on Seal? He said, somebody said, what do you like about him? He said, he's a starting Canadian. John Pointer is back from hospital, drinking a Coca-Cola there, and he's got the left arm all bandaged up. It's the dislocated elbow. He will be out for 6 weeks, and the Montreal Concordes will be looking for a new linebacker. That's a big blow to the defense of the Montreal team.
Sure is. You know why? Because he's one of the big team leaders that they have. You know, they've got a real camaraderie that's developed on this Montreal Concordes team. Miles Grell and I were having a nice chat before the game, and he said the big difference this year, more than anything else, of course, we're winning, but he said the guys really like each other. We get along well, and believe me, when you get in the fourth quarter of a tight ball game, that makes a difference.
Well, they've always had a great rapport with Joe Gallant, too. Everybody that has played for him, or let's say the majority, have really liked him.
Lester Brown didn't like him.
I don't think Denny Ferdinand was crazy about him either. A flag comes down as Gill steps his way inside the 30 to the 29. Rod Harding, number 77, was there to make the tackle. He's the Argos' left defensive end.
You know, they're going to be called for holding Montreal, but even though Turner Gill did the smart thing, don't throw anything up. Just take the rush and let it be third down, because what you've got is still an opportunity for 3 points. And
as I suggested about 2 minutes and 45 seconds ago, Montreal wanted to put a sustained drive together, eat up lots of time, and they've done that, because were there not a penalty on this play, the quarter would have ended. But it cannot end on a penalty, as we hear now from referee Ken Lasrick.
Montreal, number 54. Second down, repeated.
It's the second time that Rob Smith has been called for holding. He's their right guard.
Let's see, he's number 54, working on Mark Seal, and he's got those arms hooked in there. And once again, a good call. I think you can call holding on almost every play. Once again, Dick Comar working out the blocking assignments for his offensive line.
Second down, 20 yards to go. Walter Ballard with a quarterback sack on Turner Gill all the way back to the 52-yard line. And that's the first sack of the Montreal quarterback this evening. But it really forces them back as the third quarter comes to an end with the Montreal Concordes out in front of the Toronto Argonauts 18-9. We'll return with the fourth quarter in a moment. Back at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal as we begin the fourth quarter of an 18-9 ball game in favor of the Concordes, who are now punting on 3rd and 30 as Mike McTagg stands back inside his 45. This will be Carinci from his 18-yard line. And Carinci, who gives you 100%, regardless of the position he's playing, gets it out to the 26. Well, there's a look at our Chevrolet three-quarter statistics. Look at the net yards. Who would believe that any defense could contain the Toronto Argonauts to just 86 yards, but that's what the Concordes have done to this point.
One thing, though, Patrick, that is with a couple of rookie quarterbacks. If you had Condredge Holloway in there, it would be a different story.
I tend to agree with you, Bill.
So Mark Cassell, who has been good on 4 of 7 passes for just 20 yards, remains at quarterback, and he throws the screen to Bob Bronk. And Bronk fights his way to about the 32-yard line, but he couldn't shake Phil Jones and Harry Skipper.
Yeah, Phil Jones, who's outweighed by a bunch, came up and made a pretty good play.
So the pickup is about 7 yards, make it second down, 3 yards to go, Toronto.
Well, that's the key for Toronto here in the fourth quarter. They've got to get good production on first down.
Cassell's pass was batted down. Brett Williams stuck the big mid up there as Cassell was looking for his wide receiver, Thad Jemison, doing a post pattern up around midfield.
Yeah, he had Thad Jemison open, too, but Brett Williams does the next best thing, get the big mid up there, and, you know, those are the kind of plays that can win ball games for you. Just the little extra things that people do when they're really out of a play, but get themselves back into it.
Brett Williams is operating with a sore knee that he injured earlier in the game in the first half. They were going to keep him out, but he said he wanted to get back in action, so they let him go back in, and he makes the big play.
So it's 3rd down and 3, and Hank Olisic is punted. High. And pretty deep, too. This is Phil Jones. And Jones breaks it right up to midfield and in to Toronto territory before Dennis Clay was there to bring him down.
Yeah, they got the reverse on hold now and just decide I'm going to take it straight upfield and not going to give up any yards or more fumbles, get some positive yardage, and put my quarterback Turner Gill in good field position.
Should the CFL continue with a full interlocking schedule? If you want to vote yes, it's 1-900-720-3720. No, there's the other number.
As a former player, I vote yes.
Yeah, I love to see all the teams. Gill floats it up for Alan Reed, and they really made the catch inbounds for the first down at the Toronto 43-yard line. Well, that was a good catch by Alan Reed. He was right on the sideline.
And it was a good throw by Turner Gill to get it over top of Dennis Clay. That's a nice touch on the football. He's going to take a good shot after he releases it, too. Yeah, 1 foot down. Excellent call. Rodney Harding got in there a little bit late on Turner Gill as well.
Alan Reed has caught 7 passes tonight for 95 yards coming out of that backfield, and now he's the ball carrier. And he gets to the 40-yard line for a pickup of about 3 before he runs into James Reed, the middle linebacker.
Pat and Leaf, imagine if we didn't have an interlocking schedule, and you wouldn't have a game taking place in September the 20th that we're going to be doing that I'm looking forward to. BC, Montreal at the Big O. Think what kind of a ball game that one's going to be.
Well, that's going to be some kind of game, Bill. I agree with you.
All of them really loom large now. We're into the 7th week of the CFL season. Gill has the first down to the Toronto 30-yard line. Dennis Clay finally brings him down. But Turner Gill, Montreal's leading rusher coming into this ball game, shows you his ability here.
Yeah, the key to that play, Walter Ballard got trapped to the inside. They lost all containment. Once that happens, the defense is in big trouble, because with Turner Gill's abilities, he can either throw it downfield or run it, pick up the first down as he did.
Well, if they can stick this one in the end zone, it's going to be lights out for the Argos, I suspect. Alan Reed is the ball carrier, but he never really was able to get much traction because Walter Ballard was there the moment that he took the handoff.
It seemed like the timing was not right on that play. It just took a little too long to develop.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Gill got the pass from center cleanly, and you're absolutely right. It sure didn't seem as slick as some of their plays. Gill has been good on 17 of 20 for 185 yards. He's also rushed 33 yards himself. 2nd down, about 14 yards to go. Rodney Harding drops him, well, right about the line of scrimmage. So we're going to see Roy Kurtz, who will try a field goal of about 41 yards.
Well, that's Rodney Harding's first sack of the season. But I'm impressed with Turner Gill. He didn't take a chance because he knew I've still got my kicker in good position to get 3 sure points. I think 3 sure points. Last time I praised Roy Kurtz, he missed.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Yep, sure is.
From the 41-yard line, Jerry DiTilio puts it down. Kurtz is good.
Boy, he's got a nice stroke. I can't believe how smooth he is.
Well, you've mentioned that before, and you're absolutely right. The Concordes go out in front by 12. It's Montreal 21, Toronto 9. We'll be back in a moment. The Hall of Fame game, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the defending Grey Cup champions, will be there to play the Tiger Cats. An important game for both those clubs. Hamilton now has to win a game because they're starting to slip behind. But they're only 2 back of both Ottawa and Toronto. Paul Pearson. And he gets to about the 38-yard line, not much further. Ken Cianconi was there, so too was Vince Faison. And they limit that gain to about 3 yards.
with the inductees in the Hall of Fame, I can't help but think about Tony Gabriel. He broke my heart in 1976 when he caught that long pass for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and they beat us 23-20.
Yeah,
that's why he's going to the Hall.
Oh, well, he was so great. He was just one of the greatest receivers we've ever had in Canada.
Sure was.
The pass is complete once again to Pearson. And Pearson lands right on the 45, which should give him a first down. Aaron Hill made the hit. And Paul is shaken up a little.
Pat and Leaf, you're talking about the Hall of Fame and greats such as Tony Gabriel. Looking at some of the films today of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the great eras during the 10 that Frank Rigney was with them. Coming out of that offense and making such great blocks, and we saw the Lincoln Locomotive, Lewis, one of the great running backs, of course, in the CFL. You just forgot what a great back he was, and you forget that the reason some of those backs are so great is because they got fellows like Frank Rigney who opened the holes for them.
Frank was not only a great football player, but he's just a tremendous guy, too. We're so happy for him. As you see, Paul Pearson landed right on the shoulder.
Well, he took a shot from number 71, Brent Williams, is what did the damage on Paul.
We've got 9 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in this ball game. It is Montreal 21, Toronto 9. Montreal led at 8-1 at the end of the first quarter, 18-1 at halftime. The Argos closed the gap. They scored 8 points unanswered in the third quarter of play. And now Montreal, with a Roy Kurtz field goal, has opened it up to 12 points. But really, it's still 2 converted touchdowns any way you look at it.
One of the best in the business, Fred Dunbar, out to attend to Paul Pearson.
Incidentally, at the Hall of Fame game this Sunday, the first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a 1985 Tiger Cat team poster, which includes valuable fire safety tips from Hamilton's players and coaches. The game is at 1:30 in Hamilton on Sunday.
Oh, that'll make me go.
Pass is complete to Jeff Townsend, who is forced out at the 30-yard line by Aaron Hill. Pickup was 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 5. $26,747 the attendance here in Montreal tonight. That's the paid attendance. There appears to be very close to 30,000 here. Casal's pass was caught at about the 53-yard line. Doug Scott very nearly had him for the sack, but he was able to get away and throw the pass complete.
Well, he just did a heck of a job eluding the pass rush and makes a good throw down the sidelines, but Harry Skipper comes up and makes sure that the receiver goes no further.
So it's 3rd and a couple, and the Argos are going to punt.
I suspect that Harry will equal that total from last year.
Harry Skipper?
Yeah, he had just flashed 8 interceptions last year. He's got 2 this year. I'm sure he'll get up to that.
Oh, this is a booming punt by Alyssa. Phil Jones allows it to bounce to Preston Young in the end zone, and he'll give up the single point. Another smart play by Montreal. They'll have possession at their 35-yard line.
You know, you see Preston Young and Phil Jones congratulating each other. They made the smart veteran move.
So it's a 21-10 ball game now. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Of a separated shoulder. Dr. Jackson tells me that it's going to keep him out of action for a while, but he doesn't know how long at this point. And that's a bad blow for Paul and a very bad blow for the Argonauts.
Boy, it seems like in the last year he's just had one after the other.
Montreal starting from their 35-yard line. Give us to Dwayne Wilson. All the way down to the Toronto 53-yard line. Bo Metcalf finally forced him out of bounds, but that's a big play by Dwayne Wilson, and we'll check his rushing total for you. It's 72 yards tonight on 11 carries.
Well, Nick Volpe, our isolation director, has a good close-up look at him, and he just breaks it to the outside and outruns everybody.
Pickup was 23 yards. It's first down Montreal in Toronto territory at the 52. This is Tony Johns. And Johns fights his way to the 45.
Oh, I like the way he runs. Sorry, Pat.
Well, James Reed finally brought him down, but you're right. Boy, he looks like he's going to be a fine player in this league.
Much of it. I mean, that's a good hole they opened up for him, but he just takes on James Reed. And Tony Johns goes 6'2", and he's a big, solid running back. There you see Paul Pearson. When you got an injury or separation, get that ice on as fast as you can to keep the swelling down.
Second down, 3 yards to go. The toss goes to Dwayne Wilson. Oh, big play by Steve Johnson, because there had been some good blocking to seal off the interior of the line. They had blocked the outside linebacker, and Johnson came just knifing through to make the stop right at the line of scrimmage.
That's the second time he's done that in the ball game, and he has to come a long way from that middle safety spot. Did an excellent job.
Now it's third down and very close to 3 yards to go.
Go for field position.
Yep, that's what they're going to do. Mike McTagg is in to punt.
Yeah, you've still got the 21-10 lead. I mean, you're in command, so don't take any chances at this point.
And McTagg is going to run it. And he should have the first down if they give him the placement of the ball. You know, Toronto wasn't convinced they were going to punt. Carl Brazeley was right up at the line of scrimmage, and then he decided he'd drop back.
Well, they do a good job here. They fool everybody, including myself, as Mike McTagg cuts it back in. He knew where the first down marker was, and once again, Montreal able to retain possession. A little over 6 minutes remaining. They can now chew off some more valuable seconds on that clock.
Montreal 21, Toronto 10. The ball was knocked right out of his hands, but they rule that Turner Gill was in the throwing process, so it'll go as an incomplete pass. Rod Harding knocked his arm just as he went to throw it.
Trying for the out and up, the pump fake, and there you see the, no question about that, the arm in motion.
Saw a good look too at Miles Gurrell taking Walter Ballard to the outside. Gurrell, number 65, a nice tidy 285 pounds. He was up to 330 at one time, but he's lost some weight. I wonder how he did it. Don Moan giving chase to Turner Gill, and he actually forces him out of bounds at the 45-yard line, which is a loss of about 5 yards. I think you're going to be right this time, though. They're not going to try any trick plays.
Well, you never know with Joe Galati. He loves that reverse on the punt. Now he faked the punt out at the Dome in BC against the Vancouver Lions earlier this year and threw the ball. He's pretty tough to predict.
Well, they didn't pick up any points, but at least they ran the clock down to 5:30 left to play in this ball game. And now McTagg is back in punt formation once again. And he does kick it away. Brazeley punches it, bounce to the sidelines and out of bounds at about the 8.5-yard line. So that's a good punt by Mike McTagg. There's no return, and Montreal continues to lead it 21-10. We'll be back in a moment. Game next week will come to you from Edmonton, where the Saskatchewan Roughriders will take on the Eskimos. Boy, Edmonton is a fine-looking football team. They're 3-3, but when Matt Dunnigan is in there, as he was not against Toronto for most of the football game, they can chalk up some points.
I want to tell you about Matt Dunnigan in a second.
Casal's pass is good to Kerry Taylor, but he stepped out virtually at the line of scrimmage.
There's a calendar that's coming out on the market. It's going to be sold exclusively at Kohl's bookstores throughout the country, and all the proceeds will be going to aid in the Special Olympics Games in 1986. But it's a calendar titled Men of the CFL, and Matt Dunnigan is one of the players that has volunteered his picture, and he looks like he's right out of GQ.
Yeah, let's give some high marks to Kathy Clemens, wife of Tom Clemens, who put the whole thing together and did a terrific job. Casal in desperation throws, and really he was just throwing it away, and the Argos will be forced to punt.
I might just mention a few other fellas that are in this calendar. Of course, Tommy Clemens, John Pancratz, Willard Reeves, Greg Marshall, Jan Carinci, Nick Araki, John Pointer, Ben Zambiazzi, Fran McDermott, Terry Greer, and Greg Vavra of the Calgary Stampeders. It's a fabulous-looking calendar. These guys are, well, they look like they should be models instead of football players. And Kathy Clements, you did a great job.
You know, you were talking about Greg Marshall. Did he play an outstanding game for Ottawa last night?
Boy, he sure did.
Greg Marshall is one of the best defensive linemen I've ever seen play in the CFL. Olisic's punt bounces to, well, let's see. Phil Jones finally covers it back at the 50-yard line, and a marker comes down. Are we going to have no yards on this one? This is the penalty that drives me the craziest. I mean, he wasn't trying to return the ball or anything else. He just wanted to cover it.
No penalty applied. First down, Montreal.
Good for you, referee Ken Lasruck, because that would have been just a terrible call. So Montreal has possession with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the ball game. We'll watch it now as Preston Young and Phil Jones can't decide what they should do with it. And I believe it may have touched Preston Young, and that's why Phil Jones fell on the ball. Give us to Tony Johns. And through some tough going, Johns is able to pick up about 3 yards. Again, James Reed was there. Reed has played very well and will have to get a lot of consideration for our Carling O'Keefe defensive game star. And I don't know how you can overlook Turner Gill, because he has been the boss out on the field tonight.
Well, 21-10, not a lot of points scored tonight. Defensively, it's going to be very difficult to pick that Carling game star, but we will come up with somebody, and a deserving player.
2nd and 6. This is Dwayne Wilson. First down. Oh, what a run. Dwayne Wilson is inside the 15 to the 13, and all the way back there to make the tackle was James Reed.
Watch how he sets the block up. They're going to kick out Walter Ballard, 79, and then he makes that one step upfield and freezes everybody else, uses his speed to get to the outside, outruns Steve Johnson, and Dwayne Wilson has had himself a heck of a ball game.
Well, I'll tell you what a heck of a night it has been. 13 carries, 115 yards. And as Leaf pointed out early in the first quarter, they had to have Dwayne Wilson involved in the offense, and he sure has been. Montreal 21, Toronto 10. We'll be back in a moment.
The Carling O'Keefe Sports Offensive and Defensive Game Stars will receive a Longines Gold Medal Quartz watch. Longines, the split-second timer of world-class events, the world's most honored watch.
First down, Montreal at the Toronto 13. The give is to Johns, and he's inside.